بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Wallah, I ask you to expand my chest with ease and loosen a knot in my tongue and make my task easy so that I can communicate the message I am here to communicate. Having said this, I am today looking for guidance to readjust the direction of this series. And the reason is that a few of you, I don't want to exaggerate and say many, but a few of you have been generous in providing me with their input, their advice, and I'm here to basically respond to the desire of those who are attending, those who really want to come physically and listen, even though by having this online, there are many people, and I'm really happy, who are following what we are doing through the YouTube channel, through the website, and I have been receiving messages through the website, and that is good. And I would ask you again to please continue to do that, and let's really make the website flourish and make it reach as many people as possible. Now, one of, if not the most important feedback that I received is that we need to have more input from the youth. I don't want to keep on making this talk style type of presentation where I talk, you listen, and then alhamdulillah we go home. So I would like the youth to talk, but there's a dilemma here. And the dilemma is that many of the youth, if not all of them, have their parents present. And this is a dilemma, because that will make them a little bit timid, if not a lot, and they may not express that which is inside them. I may theorize, and I've been doing that. You know, last time I heard it was wonderful. You know, many really told me that they appreciated what the young, successful individuals from our community had to share, alhamdulillah. But in the first three presentations in this series, we couldn't get the youth to say what's challenging them. So I need your input today. So that's number one. How are we going to do it? Number two, the first three presentations, I understood the challenges much more than to keep Islamic morality and to be having good communications between parents and children. I looked at it through the spectacles of the challenge of many youth may even lose their identity altogether. So if we talk about what we've been talking about in the past without really handling the challenge now to the identity and continuing to live as Muslims, we may find that talking about morality is too little too late. So I need your input about that, okay? And number three, I want to answer the suggestion of a close brother who suggested that challenges facing Muslim youth should extend facing their parents as well, because youth are not living in vacuum by themselves, so their parents are challenged as well. So we need to talk about that from that, perspective. So now I want to start with the first point that I mentioned. How are we going to get our youth to talk? Not to say things that only the parents would be happy to hear from them, but to talk. And we know that many of them are facing real problems. Any suggestions? I would like, now don't tell, today I want to hear from you. And by the way, after the introduction, after your guidance, I've chosen a very short video that will get us to talk about certain challenges of communication. But before we get to that, I want to hear your input so that I will follow your suggestions. How are we going to get our young people to talk? Nobody has any suggestions. Okay, yes, please.
Maybe like an anonymous way to give questions.
How can we do it? Now, are your parents here? They're not. You're lucky. See? So make it anonymous. What do you mean by anonymous?
Like you have like slips of paper or something. If any like youth has a good question that they want to have like talked about more, you could like write it down, put it in like a box. You could go through them and go through any questions.
That's one suggestion. To write it down so that nobody would know that it is from my son or daughter. That's one suggestion. Any other suggestion? Yes, brother.
Thank you for doing this.
You're welcome, brother. We all need it. We are in this together.
So one suggestion is basically a hotline, a communication bridge. Can be email, can be a dedicated address that comes directly to you or somebody that then they can filter it. The other thing is I like the idea of parents being there, because when the kids have problems, it comes to them, parents. And when parents have problems, because they're not free of problems.
That's what we, absolutely.
And that problems actually goes back to the kids.
Okay.
So they both become victims at some point if they don't communicate with each other.
Absolutely. So your point, I will start with the last one. We can not only bring the young people, parents need to be here, because it's the parents who are the support for the kids to grow into strong Muslim youth who will face life from the Islamic perspective. So parents need to be present, and I agree with you 100%. Okay, so parents and youth, as we are here today, need to be present, and you suggested that there should be a hotline that will receive concerns from the youth and the parents, and that will be anonymous, okay, because I will receive those questions, those comments, and I'm looking at my son-in-law here to see if that is possible. They can send it to the website. Again, very easy, Dr.Munir El-Kassem.com or .ca. You can send it, you can take your time, I will look at it, and I will analyze, and perhaps I can choose a pressing one or pressing ones, because we can answer more than one concern in one meeting. Okay, so the suggestion is the old classic way, which is valid, that you can put your question in a box, write it on a piece of paper, or you can send it by either email to the website or to my personal email, but I prefer the website, okay? Because on the website, there are series already. There's one called Save a Family, that we started some time ago. So there are two suggestions here, either in a box, on a piece of paper, or you can send it, through a hotline. Yes?
So, besides the traditional lecturing
Yes.
thing, I think you can make it more enthusiastic to catch the eyes of the youth by having different idea each time.
Yes.
So, for example, this time you chose to take our suggestions, right? Which is great. The next time you can, for example, suggest some books that we can read. Because I know majority of my friends love to read, and including me as well. Another time you could give us like I don't know, an sheet, for example, for people who love to like listen to an sheet. Like, make
Can
it
I
diverse.
stop you right here?
Sure.
You seem to be, mashallah, a person who thinks out of the box. So may I ask you for an assignment? I give you an assignment,
Sure.
okay? And this assignment, you can share in it as well. Can you sit quietly at home and brainstorm by yourself and make a plan that you will share with us? You can send it to me on the website and say, you know, Ammo, this is what I came up with, and I suggest that one time, you know, we may suggest a book, someone will read it and give us a summary. I don't have to be the only one talking from this podium. So you can come, not yourself only, but you know, anyone who would like to share a book that really will help us solve a problem or face a challenge, and then discuss it. I can moderate, and we can do it this way. And another time we can have this, we can have that. Can you do this?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Well, you brought a very good point that, you know, we should make it diverse each time, which is true because we as teenagers, or us, you know that we change every day.
Absolutely.
It's something important to make it diverse so that it's a kind of like a thing that keeps us going to like be looking up for the next halakha or the next time that we come.
Allahu Akbar. That's the idea. That's the idea. So you have that task of, you know, by next week, that you share your ideas with us. Yes,
Last time
Sister
we
Sad.
discussed, when you were here last time, we said that it will be good idea if after every 2 or 3 weeks, if it is possible, we just have a sitting, you and the youth.
Yes.
And like, for example, if Zishan wants to say something, what he is challenging, he can address to all the youth, he can share with you, or Saleh or Zuhair, whatever. Because last time this, mashallah, she is amazing. She said the same thing because 4 people, those were here, they were amazing.
Yes.
But the girl said it was like really inspiring me that bring the people who are from our area,
Yes.
our age.
Yes. Yes.
So that will help. Like we will not come on that week. We can come back.
This one, okay, I want to combine your suggestion with my brother's suggestion, and I seem to lean more. I changed my mind. You know, when I was talking 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I did say that we need sometimes to listen only to the youth. But then, you know, when we listen to the youth, why should I be the only parent listening to the youth? You know, there has to be everybody. But as long as we can find a way, a medium of getting what's on their mind without having the subjective input of the parents because of, then that will be good.
Yeah.
Okay, so let us, John, I'm looking forward to hearing from you, inshallah, and I'd like to hear more ideas. Yes, sister.
I want one sitting with you just for parents without kids. You are planning kids without parents. I like to sit without kids, just parents. On one point, we need guidance to handle the kids, to solve their problems, but without kids. So
Okay, I'll tell you, you see, the idea or the suggestion is to have a meeting only for the parents without the kids, and one time to hear the kids without the parents. I'll tell you, that's exactly, you know, I told you that I was in Fort McMurray last week, and that's exactly what I did, starting Friday afternoon until Sunday. Now, Friday afternoon, I met with the oldest kids of the community, 18 and above. Then Friday at night, I gave them my input into what I knew was the challenge in an isolated Muslim community in the north. Then, starting Saturday from 10 until 6, one age group after another, after another, after another, no parent was in the area, no parent was hearing anything. And I really gathered what they had in mind, and that was heavy. Okay, honestly, what they were able to say was heavy. And then Sunday morning before I left, I had 2-hour session with the parents where I told them the major problems that I discovered coming from the youth, and we proposed 2 areas out of almost 15 areas. You know, I said, if we are going to stay general, we're not going to learn anything. So we chose 2 things, parent-children communication and social media. And I proposed a 9-point solution for parent-children communication and parenting, and 2 suggestions only for the social media to solve these 2 issues. But there were many other problems that have to be dealt with on other visits. But your point is valid. Now, I forgot whether it was Brother Mir or it was another sister or whether it was my son-in-law, but I received a suggestion of the need. No, I know who it is. I know who it is. It wasn't a sister, it wasn't Brother Mir, it wasn't my son-in-law. And I'm looking here, is he here? No, he's not here. Okay, he's a young man in his mid-20s who said we need to have a weekend, okay, like a day camp where the youth can come, no parents around, to just basically get everything out, okay? Let us hear it then, other than to write things and put it in a box or a hotline or whatever. You know, because sometimes when you really back and forth by brainstorming, they feel that they can relate what's on their mind, and some of them might not have thought of something until and unless they heard it, you know, in a different way from another youth. So we need to plan, and we will do it, inshallah. We will do that.
December holidays.
Inshallah, I will not be here. Okay, so inshallah, this is what I said that we really need. Again, think about Umrah, because I'll be going, you know, for Umrah. But then inshallah, during March break, if that materializes, I feel the community in Fort McMurray, that's what they are planning to do. In Fort McMurray, from among all other communities, they have 10 days in February where schools are off in February. So they are planning to go for Umrah, inshallah. Any other suggestion?
I can volunteer for that workshop which we are thinking for.
Can you plan it, please?
Yes.
Inshallah,
I
inshallah,
can
yes,
volunteer.
yes.
Suggestion for kind of camp for kids, but while we are waiting for summer, we can do this on long weekends, because one day camp or one night camp will be enough for kids after a while, because our kids don't have family where they go to sleepover or some kind of things like this. If we are in just one night and one day camp in the masjid,
Yes.
kids stay there and just in fun way, like friends, so it will be fun.
Inshallah, a sleepover at the masjid here, we will plan it, and we will,
We used to have those there.
inshallah. So we have, yes, brother.
Dr. Mashallah, it's a very nice program. I
Jazakallah
watched
khair.
on YouTube,
Jazakallah
thanks to
khair.
Brother Mir,
Yes.
and he posted on the YouTube, now I am here. There are a lot of questions youth are facing because of the society, their high school environment and stuff like that. Some questions are really very challenging. Honestly, I had to face a question I cannot state exactly here it is in front of everyone. So I think that would be a better idea to talk with the teenager just first and answer their questions, how to address certain critical situation. And write down those points, and those points you please discuss with parents separately.
Yes.
So that's what that was your solution.
Okay.
So we keep in on our mind to assist your answer to make implementation would be by parents.
Excellent. So now I got really suggestions to cover a wide spectrum, basically. So there is a need that we have meetings for the youth alone, a meeting, but not always, okay? These are on special occasions, a meeting of the parents alone, and the usual meeting like this will be on a weekly basis, so this will stay, and we will, inshallah, get the input, feedback, suggestions, challenges, problems, everything through a hotline directly to the website, or if you are not computer savvy or whatever, then you can write it down and bring it to me, okay? I will take it, and I promise, inshallah, I will analyze everything, and I will, come with a proposal how we are going to continue this, inshallah. Yes.
One challenge, what I would say, is that training the parents in this North American or European countries how to train their kids and not to dump their brand of Islam onto the kids. Because I had this experience this last Friday. There was a young parent and the two kids with him, a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. They did wonderful job. They did their Jummah prayer, and immediately after Taslim, the parents said, okay, now you do 2 sunnah. And this 4-year-old just, he said, you want to do that or you want to get guna? And when he said, you want to get guna, I saw the kid's face was all of a sudden scared and sad, and he reluctantly stood up, and then he did 2 more sunnah. Instead of appreciating what they did already, so we parents use scare tactics mostly, which probably we...
So there is a suggestion to have not a session or a workshop on challenges for parents, but parenting skills.
Parenting skills, yeah.
Parenting skills. Parenting skills. Okay, and by the way, I do not assume that I am the ideal parent to really train other parents. I will try through, different experiences, but we may invite, some people who are really experts on this, inshallah, to help, bi'idhni ta'ala. Yes.
Just one suggestion. In my view, I think this is one of the challenges. When I was a youth, I faced that, and I believe that everybody does right now as well, youth, and also as immigrants. I think one of the most challenging things for the Muslim community is how do we identify ourselves as Muslim and Canadians at the same time? This raises questions of proper integration. At the end of the day, we chose to come to this country because of certain values, and we need to learn more about these values and what makes Canada so great, so that we will prepare ourselves. In my case, I'm okay, I'm doing very well, but for the next generation, the young generation, one of the things they need to learn is that they need to learn about what makes Canada so great, learn about the identity of Canada, the values, so they can become successful in their future. And you want to come here. So one of the things I suggest is, in the discussion, is let's learn more about Canada, what makes Canada so great, the values, and because at the end of the day, we need to be at peace with what Canada is, right? And that's
Excellent. Okay, so now we got 2 specific suggestions, but I don't want to get to specifics yet, because when we meet as older, parents or older couples or older individuals, we will have this coming out. But now the idea is basically to brainstorm on the format, how we are going to handle ourselves to make this more, to make this different than just basically a theoretical type of lecture that the kids will be, I can tell you, I'm feeling already sorry for those young kids. They say, when are you going to start making it fun today? It's not fun yet, but we will make it fun, I promise you. Okay, inshallah. So this is the suggestion. This is the suggestion. Now, we are going to watch something, okay? So Ihab, get ready, inshallah. We are going to watch something, and then we are going to open the floor to talk about it. And before we see it, again, some of the kids and some of the parents may look for the ideal response. I'm not looking for that. Please, whatever you feel. Now, you may want to move your chair a little bit towards this wall. Okay, move it this way. Otherwise, you will have a stiff neck. Okay, so you can move your chair. You can move your chair so that everybody can see it. We will turn the lights off. Even in the prayer hall there, we will turn everything off so that we can see it. And then we will, inshallah, comment, talk, elaborate, and take it from there, bi'idhnihi ta'ala.
Τι είναι αυτό?
Ένα σπουργίτι.
Τι είναι αυτό?
Μόλις τώρα στο πατέρα, σπουργίτι είναι.
Τι είναι αυτό?
Ένα σπουργίτι είναι, πατέρα. Ένα σπουργίτι. Σπου-γι-τι!
Τι είναι αυτό?
Γιατί το κάνεις αυτό το πράγμα, μπορείς να μου πεις? Τόσες φορές σου είπα, είναι ένα σπουργίτι! Δεν το καταλαβαίνεις! Πού πας?
Δυνατά.
Σήμερα ο μικρός μου γιος που πριν λίγες μέρες έκλεισε τα 3 καθόταν μαζί μου έξω στο πάρκο όταν ένας σπουργίτη ήρθε και κάθισε απέναντί μας. Ο γιος μου με ρώτησε 21 φορές τι ήταν αυτό και του απάντησα και τις 21 φορές ότι ήταν ένα σπουργίτη. Τον αγκάλιασα τρυφερά και τις 21 φορές που μου έκανε την ίδια ερώτηση, ξανά και ξανά, χωρίς να εκνευριστώ, νιώθοντας στοργή για το αθώο μου αγοράκι.
So this is, the first exercise of doing something different. We watched a scenario that may be common in certain households, in certain families, and as our parents age, we are hearing more and more about this kind of exchange, this kind of communication. And we heard, some of you today even talking about communication. We really want to learn how to communicate with each other. I would like you to take it from here. What did you get from this? I mean, I don't have to say, well, we saw that. How would you like to comment on this, make suggestions for better communication? Did the father do anything wrong in making his son reach a stage where he became so impatient? Is impatience a quality that the son learned from his father? It seems that the father is having dementia, but before that, did he teach his son what he received later on from his son? What is it that we really need to learn as human beings and as Muslims? Okay. I know that you're trying to absorb it, you're trying to, formulate a response, but I would like the young people who will say, I'm still too young, I'm not going to do this to my father. But you know something, I've heard a lot of stories of kids being told, can you please get me this? And they are playing on their PS4, on their Xbox. Ahmed, please, can you get me this? I need it right. Yes, I'm getting it. Okay, Ahmed, please, after 5 minutes, Ahmed, please, I need it. Okay.
Very familiar, okay.
Could you relate to that? I want someone who's really strong enough to tell us, why does this happen? Why? Okay, are parents a little bit too much sometimes? They insist on something and they are impatient. So they are teaching impatience by insisting, get it now, I want it now, and the tone of their voice. Sometimes, I say maybe parents are asking in a tone that needs to be changed. Any of the kids agree that parents sometimes have a tone of voice that is not necessary? Why are you talking to me like this?
Yeah.
Any of the kids? Honest, and yes.
Yeah, I sometimes feel that because I would tell her that I'm going to get it, but then it's just them.
So the problem is her, not him.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. Yes. So you were saying something.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes I get a little frustrated.
So there's no need to for her to talk to you in such a way. But do you feel that sometimes you are a little bit lazy in responding right away?
Yeah, I should.
Now, are kids entitled to be lazy sometimes?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. The reason I ask this, okay, is that parents, once they become at a certain age, they start to expect that the kids have to respond immediately to the, we start to feel that we own our children. Am I correct? Or maybe this is an overstatement?
Not only that, I think our brand of parents, the one previous generation, we are being brainwashed with lots of incidents of the Sahaba, the Ulamas, how they were standing on one feet with the bowl of milk in their hand, waiting for their mother to get up. And so we think as a parent, it's my right. The moment I ask something to my son or daughter, they should do it. It's their religious duty to obey to their parents right away.
You heard Brother Tariq, you know that parents really expect, you know, ideal response from their children. How many parents agree with that? Agree?
But it's not good.
Okay. How many disagree with Tariq? Okay, okay. Why do you disagree with him?
That's Islamic principle to respect the parents. If somebody, you say something to your kids to do something and he is lazy in not doing it, this is totally unrespectful for the parents. What you doing for your kids, you getting that response from your kids is totally, is not, he's basically slapping your face back. You know, he's not listening.
So we have two positions. We have two positions. You know, one position is that Islamically, we expect of our children that they show respect and respond to their parents. Now, and the other position is sometimes we overdo it. I mean, we keep on pushing on our children, and our children are human beings as well. And they, you know, now, don't you think that when we expect our children to respond in what we call Islamically, okay, that we should teach them that gradually and lovingly so that they would automatically, without really, it will be part of their nature. You agree with that? Okay, so as they are learning to reach to that level, they will make mistakes, you know. Okay, I want to ask a question. Yeah, and okay, let's say they make mistakes. What is acceptable to be mistakes made by our children? At what level you say, no, this is too much. You're not learning, okay? Or you may come to them in a nice, kind way and say, you know, let's sit and talk. Many parents from Eastern culture, the way they deal with these things, and this is something I talked about, again, I'm bringing forth McMurray because it's still so fresh in my mind. I told them, we as human beings either react to a situation or we respond to the situation. Reacting to a situation is bad. We need to respond. And the way we respond is sometimes we have to contain our anger, okay, and sit with our children and teach them a life lesson. I need to hear comments on that. What is a life lesson? Is it my duty to just basically full time always, you know, get my children, because otherwise I will not be able to do anything. Anything. Just, you know, respond to them and tell them, okay, now I have to teach you this, come, let's sit, and then another child, another child, another child. It becomes too much for a parent to, yes, sister.
I think sometimes what the trouble we're having is that we're trying to find a balance between too strict and being friendly.
You said it.
And that's, I think, with our youth now, being born and raised here, like having values from my parents being back home, a little bit more strict, but kind of not. Growing up, knowing right and wrong, but now you have your own children, you don't want to be too strict. You're trying to teach them right and wrong. Where's the balance of this is okay and your punishment is, you
Sister,
know?
you mentioned two.
We need the balance. We don't have the balance.
Two terms from a treasure box. You mentioned the word balance and you mentioned the word strict. Okay? Now, balance in everything is what life is all about and what Islam came to stress. Because Islam came to show us how to live life properly, and the secret behind properly is balance. Balance. Even the three individuals who decided on their own without consulting the Prophet, or they interpreted the teachings of the Prophet as, I'm going to pray every single night of my life, I'm going to fast every day of my life, I'm never going to get close to, members of the opposite gender, the Prophet got very upset. Is this how you interpret my teachings? By being too strict, too lopsided in the way you look at Islam? This is not Islam. Islam is to fast and to break your fast, to sleep and to pray, and to get married and to have proper relationships. So our parents, let's face it, belonged to the strict school of parenting. I remember, Allah yarhamu, my father. Why? Because I said so. How common is the response? Because I said so. But I said so, okay? And I still remember, the statement that my brother is smiling because he probably remembers it too. And that is, نفذ ثم اعترض. Do first what I'm telling you, then complain. So we were the product of that school, okay? Now, there's a concern here. Now, how do we establish this balance? How do we know that it's okay for our kids to do what they are doing, for example? And is Islam the definition of being strict, or you already said no, we have to establish balance and we are having difficulty establishing this balance? Okay, any other comments on this? On communication? Yeah, yes.
So, something really important my parents taught me is that it's okay to say no. I mean, parents specifically would disagree with me about that, and so many people, especially the strict ones, and like the ones that grew up in an Arab kind of environment, they go like, you have to do this. But what if I have a reasonable reason and a respectful one, and I'm gonna kind of get, not in a debate, but just in a grown-up conversation with you to convince you with my point of view? Islam came to let you speak freely. Say your opinion no matter how weak you are, how young you are.
I feel like saying takbir.
That's what Islam is for. It came for you to say your own opinion because you're a free person. Why did we come here? Because it's a free country. Like, I mean, come on, people. If you, my parents, alhamdulillah, are one of the most beautiful human beings. They taught me this. It's okay to say no as long as you're respectful, you're gonna get in a grown-up conversation with me, and you're gonna convince me with your point of view. I'm totally fine with it, but you're not just gonna say
Now,
no.
I agree with 98% of what you said. Can you guess the 2%? Or anybody can guess the 2%?
It would depend on the situation that you're in.
No, you said something I disagree with, and that's 2% of what you said. 98% of what you said is beautiful. But I disagree. You just said that it's okay to say no. I disagree with 2%. Can somebody guess what I disagree with? Yes. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Usually we misuse the definition of we came here because it's a free country. Because sometimes the definition of freedom and a free country is abused by people. Because they say, it's a free country, I can smoke pot. They just, but wait a minute, it's a free country, and they made it into law. They made another law about how relationships can be established. I want to be discreet not to mention it. But as a Muslim, okay, it's legal to consume alcohol, but it's haram for me.
Yeah, but what I meant by that.
No,
in the limits of Islam.
Yes. I just wanted to basically explain, but I am very proud of you. I want to say that. And if our children will grow up to be as confident, as respectful, to start by saying, it's okay to say no. And you know something, if you teach your children how to say no respectfully, you've got it as parents, to say no, but respectfully. Not, no, that's not respectfully. Do you want to come with me to the masjid? No, I'm sorry because I have an assignment tomorrow. That's respectfully. Okay. Yes, Cecilia.
So yes, the parents have to learn the balance, but the kids have to learn that balance too.
Absolutely. Because, and remember, the way I started this conversation, I said, did the son learn impatience from his father? Because whether we like it or not, this is probably, you are now leading us into another channel of discussion. Whether we like it or not, I would say, maybe you will disagree with me, that 60% of who we become is because of our parents. 60%. Okay? There is, you know, in science we learned nature versus nurture. And that discussion of, you know, genetics and environment and whatever, but our parents' influence. I tell you something. You know, my father used to, you know, that pita bread. It was his habit that before he will use the piece of bread, he will bite a little piece of, do you remember vacation? He'll bite a piece of the edge of it, and then he will, you know, use it. As a children, we learn that this is the way to eat. This may be a silly example, but that's how much you learn from your parents. Okay? There are certain arguments. It took me personally a lot and many, many years to discover that this is just what my father and my mother did as individuals. I need to look for that which is Islamically, or whatever case may be, the way to adopt. Okay? So parents, be careful. Sister. Yes, yes.
It made me emotional. I couldn't sleep for a while. It reminded me of my mother.
Yes. May Allah bless her soul.
She was a very good person. She had, thank you.
You said 10.
Yeah, she raised us without money. She raised us as a Muslim. You have to be strong, Islam, Muslim person. And she was strong from fire. So I was so obedient for my mother. And then I came to overseas, married for a young age, have my kids. Then it became a challenge for me to make my kids a body. I can't make them who I am. It takes me a long time to adopt who I am is who I am. I can't make my children who I am.
So your mother, you're saying, was more successful than you are.
Yes.
Why? Why do you think that is the case?
I want, if I am not as as a nation, I'm Somali, so I want Somali.
Yes.
Not my children born here.
Yes.
So 100% the environment helped us. The teaching my mother was teaching us.
So you're saying that the environment helped. May I agree with you 100%? Don't be jealous now. Where is she? Okay, I said 98. She gets like. No, I agree with you. You know.
Accept environment influencing my children, no matter how I teach. So when they say me the word of no, I shouldn't be angry. Although I'm angry in heart, because that's not who I was when I was a child.
Yes.
But still I have to compromise. My discipline, I have to compromise, not the way of doing my best. Teach discipline.
Can I ask you a question? Is the word compromise a good word or a bad word?
It's a good word to take it as impossible. Because my child will make a mistake, but I can't
So as a parent, you need to accept the mistakes that your children make. Can I just, please, when we will talk about, parenting skills and things, please, let us as parents hold, we have to accept our kids' mistakes. Because what we need to do is to help them correct those mistakes. And guess what? We are not going to be 100% successful. Because sometimes, as you said, kids will continue to make the same mistake, even though
God created their own will, so they will do their own will.
Can I ask you a question, or you may volunteer if you want. Okay. What if you help your kids to correct the mistake, and after so many trials, they will not correct that mistake? What will you do? Will you give up?
Pray for them.
Yes.
But only God can put the right back on them.
Okay. You will not be angry with them?
I would be angry in my heart, but by yelling and screaming and angry and showing them they do mistakes, I should advise what to do right. But yelling and kicking them, it won't help. I have to pray for them. I have to be there for them. I have to help them the right way. Beautifully, for the sake of Allah.
Sister, you said pray for them. I just want to, bring to our attention that there are some dua, some supplications that the Prophet taught us at the tabi'een, and that you can access on the net. And please, whether in English, in Urdu, Arabic, whatever the case may be, make dua for your children, especially after Fajr Salat, when you are starting your day. Make that a special dua for your children. Dua is very powerful, by the way, because Allah is seeing that you tried, you exhausted everything you have, okay? And now you say, Ya Allah, I'm turning to you. Can you please help me? Because I couldn't, get to where I want to get. Okay? Who else wants? Yes, sister.
I'm going to add that we have to make sure we're telling our kids that parents do make mistakes as well. That we are wrong sometimes, and you have to tell your kids, I'm wrong.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Let's try to be objective. Let's say the sample of parents in this room. What's the percentage of parents who admit their mistakes?
Probably 30%.
30%. Anybody who says,
I say sorry to my children if I am wrong. I'm okay to say.
how many say that it's not good to admit your mistakes?
She says on my behalf too.
No, honestly, how many of the parents admit that they don't admit their mistakes to their children? 100%. 90%. Nobody is but I agree with you. The 30% should be 100.
We have too much pride.
Yes, we have too much pride.
And our kids need to see that we're wrong.
That father kept a diary. And especially, I remember, when I had my children first, but then I stopped that, it was too much work. Okay, I wrote, every new move, every little thing, and I wrote it. You see, this father, whether for the sake of the scenario or whatever the case may be, where his son became so impatient with him, he didn't yell back. He just went inside, got that diary, and it happened to be the same scenario. But when the roles were, opposite, changed, okay? Sometimes checking on our history can really help. Trying to writing sometimes, by the way, Prophet Muhammad taught us that style. He said, try to register, to keep a record of what you do, because at times you need to make corrections. So, it's not a bad habit to write down even your mistakes and to check after some time whether you are better at it than you used to be. Okay, now, yes, sister.
On one point, sister said we have to accept the mistakes of the parents and the mistakes of the children. As a parents, we accept their mistakes when they do, because kids do so many kind of severe mistakes, and as a parents, we accept that. But one point, as a parents, we need to learn what is the meaning of accepted mistakes, because we accept the mistake, we tell it's okay to did, and we leave them. We never try to guide them.
Allahu Akbar. I feel like takbir, because this is, look, when we, you mentioned something, what does accept mean?
Accept means we said it's okay, you did mistake, you are learning, I am with you, but we as a parent, with the kids all the time, not just leave them, because out of the house they have so many attractions, they can go there and get their love or whatever they want from the parents, they can get out of the house. If as a father or mother we will not give them or him or her at home, we should we have to with them all the time, not just accept and leave them. Okay, do it, whatever you want to do it. It's not
Absolutely. So to summarize, because the voice might not have been picked by the camera and the recorder, so I would say your point is a very strong argument in the direction that when parents accept the mistakes of their children, they do not have to sit back and let them continue to do what they are doing and make the mistakes. Again, acceptance means that you are accepting your son or daughter for what they are, but your duty to continue to make corrections directly or indirectly continues. Okay? You have to search for answers. I just basically communicated with one of the parents who takes parenting very seriously, and she told me that for a long time she kept asking her children, "Did you pray? Did you pray? Did you pray?" And then one of her children said, "Why don't you ask me if I ate my meal? Why do you only ask me if I prayed?" And her answer was, because, eating is something that you can do on your own. But my duty as a parent is to remind you of your religious duties, and that's why I, ask you this question. So he was on the verge of saying, "Leave me alone," but he didn't say that, okay? But at the same time, he made the observation to his mother that you are too much, okay? So take it easy. Now, she reported that one night, late into the night, he asked her, "Can you please teach me more about my religious duties, about what Islam is all about?" So she is saying that what started as a complaint that "leave me alone" turned into a positive experience for the son. My father used to say that good seed may sometimes stay dormant, in the earth, but continue to put water on it, it will germinate. It will germinate. So never lose patience, it will come out. And that is what we read in Surah Ibrahim. أَلَمْ تَرَ كَيْفَ ضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلًا كَلِمَةً طَيِّبَةً كَشَجَرَةٍ طَيِّبَةٍ أَصْلُهَا ثَابِتٌ وَفَرْعُهَا فِي السَّمَاءِ تُؤْتِي أُكُلَهَا كُلَّ حِينٍ بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهَا وَيَضْرِبُ اللَّهُ الْأَمْثَالَ لِلنَّاسِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَذَكَّرُونَ. The example or the similitude of a wholesome statement. You know, Abdullah ibn Abbas said wholesome statement is the kalima. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. But it can extend to everything good. The example of something good is like a tree that is deeply rooted into the ground and the branches reach to the sky. It's healthy. And you know that certain plants, you may, and there you can tell me examples, you know that certain plants do not give fruits after the first year of planting, or after the second, or after the third. You know, certain plants take 7 or 8 years before you can to start to see fruits coming from them. So you don't say, I wait, you know, this tree is used. No. It will give fruits. You have to be patient. Your children may not show you what they have, you know, until they, you know, now I know that some of you have to be bored. Don't tell me I'm not bored. You have to be. You know why? Because I'm talking about something that's not for your age. Okay, you are bored too. You have to be bored. Okay, it's good to be bored sometimes. Okay, and let me see, you're bored as well. I can tell, yes. Okay, now, any child, and if you will not come and sit in front of me, I'll be upset. If you are bored, I want you to come to me. Come to me if you are bored. Come. I have something for you. Come, yes. Stay, stand. Stay. Come. If you are bored, come. Anyone who is bored. Yes, come. You are bored too. Come on. I'll come and bring you. I did. It's okay. Look at them. They stood. Yes, okay. I know you're bored. Let me see if there's somebody who's bored. Yes, you are bored. Don't tell me you're not bored. You are bored. Come on. I have something for you. Come on. Okay. Come on. Stand. I have something for you to wake you up. Okay? And there will be someone who will win a prize. You want to win a prize? Anyone else who wants to win a prize? If you are bored, you will win there's a chance you will win a prize. Wallahi. Where's Naji? You have to give a prize. You have to. No, you have to.
I was going to join the group.
He's the most bored. I'm going to. You're not bored? So you will not have the chance to win the prize. After I start, you will say, oops, I wish I joined. You will regret it. You're not bored. Okay, so many of you will regret not having said, I'm bored. They will regret it. Let me see. Now I'm going to get you as well, because you are bored too? Okay, now you're bored. Okay, anyone? Your face says I'm bored. Come on. You will regret it. I'm telling you, you will regret it. You don't want to regret it? 1. After I say 3. See? Anyone else? You? Okay. Now, Naji, can you please help me move this back, please? Okay. Because, and you, before you say I promise. Say I promise.
I promise
to get
a
nice prize.
A nice prize
for the winner.
For the winner. Using your money.
As they say in Arabic, on my head. I want you to make a circle. Make a circle. Let's make a circle. Let's make a circle. Let's make a circle. So, come on. Is that a circle? This is a circle. A circle. Yes. Okay. and take your hands off because you will fall if you will keep your hands off. Now, we are going to play a game. The game is called Subhanallah, Allahu Akbar. Would you like to play the game? It's called what? Allahu Akbar. Do you want me to tell you how to play the game? You're sure? I told you you are bored. Okay, so take your hands off. Okay, now, if I say Subhanallah, you sit down. If I say Allahu Akbar, you stand. And the one who will stay to the end will get the prize. But I will trick you. Are you ready to be tricked? I'll trick you. I'll trick you. Are you ready? Now, after hearing this, is there anyone who would like to join? You will win a prize. I'll give you a chance. Anyone? Okay, now. Yeah, she forgot. She's bored. Where is she? Where is she? No, come here. No. Your sister is the one who was talking? Is that?
The one who's laughing over there.
You with the brown hijab? She's not bored. She was bored? That's why she was talking a lot. I can tell. Okay, yes. You win and then you will know what the prize is. Are you ready? But I will trick you. Take your hands off your... Are you ready? So if I say Subhanallah, what do you do?
Sit down.
If I say Allahu Akbar, what do you do?
Sit down.
Are you ready?
Yes.
You're ready. And so if I say Subhanallah, what do you do? If I say Allahu Akbar, what do you do? Ready? Allahu Akbar! All of those who said you are out. No, come. Shall I give them another chance?
Yes.
Shall I give them another chance? Okay, and ready. So you're ready. Allahu Akbar. That's it. Now, and Allahu Akbar. Three of you. Yes, go back. Sit back. Sit in your chair. Yeah. Now, isn't it nice to be bored? Tell me, isn't it nice to be bored? It is nice. Okay, so come here. Okay, and so what do you do when I say Allahu Akbar?
Stand up.
And Subhanallah?
Sit down.
So, what did you say? No, I said if. So, Subhanallah. You're slow, but it's okay. You have to say it. Okay? And ready? Ready to stand? Okay. Subhanallah. And Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah. And no, you have to sit all the way, okay? And Subhanallah. Yani now we have a boy and a girl. Okay, ready, and Subhanallah. Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah. You have a prize. Okay. So next, Nazi.
Yes.
I'll give you the money, but you get her the prize. Okay, inshallah. MashaAllah. Now, sisters and brothers, we are doing very well, alhamdulillah. Now, if this is...
There is a lesson for this game. Be active listener.
Absolutely. Be an active listener. Okay, listen. Can I extend the lesson a little bit? Can I extend the lesson a little bit? Because sometimes what we see is not necessarily what we need to do. Because when I will do this and say something that requires a different response, we have to do the response properly, not imitate, okay, and just do it, as a reaction. And that's a lesson. Respond, but do not react. Respond, but do not react. Now, I need not to evaluate today's session. Is this what you would like to see in future sessions? If yes, can I see your show of hands? Okay, now, I still need your suggestions, inshallah. Send them to me. And please, I tell you, the reason I invite you to visit the website and the YouTube, not because of numbers, but numbers do make a difference in reaching, because people will start whenever they have certain words about parenting, about this, about that, they will come to that particular video. So please visit and put your likes and subscribe and let us interact through that. But let's make the website a medium that will help us to keep an Islamic identity, a strong Islamic identity, inshallah. Yes?
Can I please suggest, instead of doing 100% this way, because I didn't see so many raise of hands, can we do kind of like a 60-40? Like the first 60% of your time, you give us some concrete solutions based on your previous feedback and everything. And when people are starting getting bored and a little bit so then the last 40% of your time, we do this interactive things, because we want to hear something constructive and all that from you as well for the based on your previous.
Okay, those who agree, the suggestion is, let's have 40% or 60%?
60% from you, we get something directly based on your previous
60% will be what I will share with you, and 40% interactive. If you agree, inshallah we will do that. Okay? سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. Almighty Allah, we ask you to shower your blessings on all the families and to make parenting easier for parents and to make interaction with the parents easier on the children and the young adults. Oh Allah, help us to face the challenges with wisdom and with preparedness to accept the message of Islam and live by it. Almighty Allah, we ask you to bring peace and tranquility to our families and to have mercy on our parents as they are helping us to grow from childhood to adulthood. Almighty Allah, we ask you to forgive our shortcomings and to help us to live by the teachings of the Quran and the way of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Wal asr, innal insana lafi khusr, illa alladhina amanu wa amilu as-salihat wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. Sadaqallahu al-azim. Jazakumullah khair.